This is where the fun begins.
I'm telling you, this finale, it's unbelievable how tepid contemporary art seems compared to the passionate quality of this finale. So you have this like huge, like it's like romantic nature painting, apocalyptic landscape of the lava. Lucas cross-cuts the destruction of the Senate chamber, and you have the destruction of industry going on. And then, after all these horrors, it is so beautiful. I'm saying, oh my God, nothing in the last 30 years in any of the arts has been produced as emotionally compelling and significant as the finale of Revenge of the Sith.
George Lucas ruined my life. 57 years ago, I did his little Star Wars film. The fact that you made me into a little doll that my first husband could stick pins into, a shampoo bottle where people could twist my head off and pour liquid out of my neck, lather up with Leia and you'll feel like a princess yourself. And yes, the little Pez dispensers. And though amongst your many possessions you have owned my likeness, lo, all these years, so that every time I look in the mirror, I have to send you a check for a couple of bucks. You had the unmitigated gall to let that chick, the new girl who plays my mother, Queen Amadillo, or whatever her name is, she wears a new hairstyle and outfit practically every time she walks through a door. I mean, I bet she even got to wear a bra, even though you told me I couldn't because there was no underwear in space. I hope I slept with you to get the job, because if not, who the hell was that guy?
Are you sure? So be it. Did you miss me?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to CAF Chat, and welcome to the channel OG Stars. I am your host, and I hope that your week has been going by good and that the coming weekend is even better, whatever your plans are. So we are getting into our CAF Chat and also some news, some cringe factor news, if you haven't seen it or followed it. So Kennedy is out once again, you guys. She's out once again, and this time it is mentioned about Filoni succeeding her space as president, and not exactly the prediction or the person who was mentioned to co-chair with him as president. So we'll get into that for cringe factor. But of course, we have our LucasFacts, we have our book of the week, and we have our lore topic. We're going to discuss Nom Anor. Nom Anor, the one that was planted as an infiltrator to spy on and gather intelligence on basically the galaxy, Star Wars galaxy, that the Vong will be invading and taking or trying to take over. So, as I promised, we're going to do that. Now, as for me, I'm still, I wouldn't say getting used to, but maybe I am. I don't know. Getting used to my new schedule at a new studio. And I have Wednesday nights, 2 classes. One is a hot vinyasa yoga class, and the other one is a lift and flow. So it's yoga with weight training and cardio hits. And so it's a hybrid class. And so I teach those almost back to back. And I do also not only cue walking around, watching my students, make sure they have good form and all of that. I also, do some of the stuff with them. And we do almost like a full body workout. 2 rounds is lower body, 2 rounds is upper body for the lift and flow. And man, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it today. And plus I had the holidays off. So I had Wednesday off for Christmas Eve and I had Wednesday off for New Year's Eve. So thankful for that. But man, I feel like, that time off too from teaching and stuff really got to me. So I didn't get to prepare my PowerPoint that I wanted to. And then I was like, I could do it in the morning. I'll wake up kind of early. No, I didn't. I did not. I stayed in bed. I was awake kind of and stayed in bed until as long as I could. And then I got out of bed because I just felt like I just needed to just stay still. Anyways, how are you guys doing? I will be getting to the chat here pretty soon. Sorry, I know I'm just ranting on. That's just what's going on in the life of Aurora, OG Star Wars. Yes. And I also have my eldest daughter home. Today's her birthday. So celebrating her, but she's got a week vacation or week time off. So she's going to be home for this whole week. So I'm excited about that. And just fun stuff going on in my life. And yeah, and being here with you. So smash that like button and share the stream out. And those on Rumble, if you're on Rumble, hello over there and welcome. I was supposed to update my Rumble last night or yesterday or whatever, and I forgot to. I just didn't do it. I got busy with other things, but I'll be updating my Rumble and working on becoming partner with the Rumble. So that's the next target goal for that. Yeah. So how are you guys doing? Let's see who's in the chat today. We have Scran. Hit the like on the way in. Good morning, OG, and good morning to you. And most of all, what's in your mug? What are you enjoying? Of course, I got CAF because I need the CAF today. I need it, and this is how I feel.
CAF. Lots of it. For me and for the ready room. I have a feeling this mission is not one we can fly in our sleep.
There we go. Good old wedge and tellies. Yep. So everyone grab a CAF on your in your favorite mug. Oh, one of my favorite mugs, the handle broke. and when it broke, the cup part fell, almost shattered. So I still have it. It just doesn't have a handle. And that is my twin son's mug. So kind of disappointed on that. I might have to go get a new one, but I'm keeping the mug so far, unless it got thrown out already. I don't know. I left it on the counter. I'm so sad about that. My twin son's mug. There we go. Let's see here. Good morning to you, the fractured filter. How are you doing? Everyone is having a lovely day so far. I hope so. And then Batsy64 is here. Hello, how are you doing? Lore is not a chore. No, it's not. But sometimes you can exhaust yourself to where it's like, I can wing it. I can talk it without having a presentation, but even doing a PowerPoint presentation is not really a chore. It's just an added bonus when I can do it. That's how you see. That's how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Okay. She's gone for real this time. Woo! I know. And then, yes, I was telling you guys, grab your CAF. We are about to begin. Button, the like is. Yes, hit the like button. And Lucas Gerson is here. And also we have Conrado. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's see here. What? I missed out last week because it was disconnected. What was disconnected? Your internet or something? I'm sorry. Or crush the like button. Yes, there's so many ways to do it, but do it. Do it. And let's see here. Damn, I lost track of time. Hey, y'all. I was wondering what happened. I was like, okay, so he'll show up when he can. Yeah, he'll show up when he can. And what happened last night is I made the link and everything. I just didn't make the thumbnail for my YouTube portion of the live. And I got busy with other things because you guys, on top of prepping for CAF Chat, and I'm also doing art. I'm entering in an art contest for a powwow, the Stanford powwow here in California. So I'm putting that piece together, or getting ready to. I also repaired my moccasins, and so I have to sew them back to the sole. And I have a special beadwork project I am going to finish before the end of this month as well. And then also my work. So a lot going on here. And so there's times that I feel like I'm losing track of time or feeling like time's slipping away because I get so busy. And then and it's not a bad thing, but I also get distracted by my grandbaby, and that's a good thing. I love her so much. So yeah, let's see here. And Lucas is here. Revenge of the Sith is art. Yes, it is. I agree. I missed her. Carrie Fisher will always be the princess. Haha. I agree. And thank you so much for the $2 super chat. It's all fake news. It's cuck news. Yes. And let's see here. Why is Bast Castle replaced by Fortress Vader? I don't know. And let's see here. Good morning to you. And we did miss you. Yeah, last week was New Year's, huh? Not New Year's Day. And I did New Year's. I did live. I did do live on New Year's. Go live on New Year's. Did I? I think I did. Yeah, I did, because I remember making the thumbnail. Happy New Year's. Yeah. But yes, here we are. And Decrepit is here. I'm telling you, it's like sometimes I get so busy and lose track of everything. And like even the holidays, like not working, I, kind of lost the days, and having the holidays in the middle of the week also. And then going to a powwow, that powwows are usually on weekends, and going and spectating on a powwow on New Year's Day too. Man, that kind of throws you off too, because like the first day you think is Saturday and the second day you think is Sunday, and it just throws you off. Nazo is here. I think it's legit this time, since Filoni is only being made head of creative. Well, the woman who he is already head of creative. He is already his position he is in now is head of creative. So I don't know what's being missed here. Dark greetings. Yeah, Suigar. There we go. And hello there. Yes. I'm like, am I gonna butcher it? Damn. All right. Nom Anor, my favorite political savvy Vong coward. I know. I mean, there's so much, and I don't want to spoil it. So when I talk about him today, I think I'm just gonna talk about mostly his past and a little into the invasion, because I don't want to reveal some of the stuff that's to come that we'll talk about. So this might be a Nom Anor part 1, and he is very significant to the Vong invasion, pre and post, I guess you can say, or as it ends and stuff like that. He is very significant. The mini masks of Nom Anor, mini Uglit maskers, I guess you could say Uglits of Nom Anor. I know there's different names for different style of maskers that they put on, because they can use them for almost any type of species. And but Uglit maskers basically, yeah. So yeah, that is very interesting. It is very, 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 very interesting. Let me see. We have Derek Lopez. How are you doing? Trayla, how are you? New year. That means Kennedy is leaving again. Really, no fooling. I know, right? No fooling, you guys. Not this time. Not this time. Yeah, we'll talk about that here soon. We will talk about that soon. Let's see here. And yes, eventually Kennedy is leaving, but she's not. So we'll get to that. So she is not really leaving. And if people think by leaving is just as president, we'll talk about that. We'll get into that discussion today. All right. So let's see here. Brandon the Awesome is here. Hello. Let me see. Oh, say Oh, that was Wedge. The voice almost made me think of Jedi Outcast Kyle Katarn. I know it's kind of weird how I wouldn't say weird, but being the narrative voiceover for these characters and stuff, and having to keep inventory on the vocal sounds of each character can be probably tough, and yeah, so that's very interesting because then we have a sound like the vocal sound of a person, that makes us think of the person. So because no one's gonna necessarily sound like me, maybe almost like me, like my daughters, there's resemblance there and cadence and tone and stuff like that. But in reality, we have our own distinctive sound as a human. It's pretty interesting. All right, let's see here. The EU is, and always will be the true canon. And thank you so much. This is a 12 or 22-month member chat. Amazing. Let me see. Did I miss anything? And yes, I have one more here. And a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It's always appreciated. I never really make a big deal about, supporting the channel through super chats and stuff, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. To those who've sent something here today, let me go ahead and play something. Let me see. How about a little bit of Lando rocking out? Let me see if I can find him now. Down. I know he's here. I know. Here we go. All right. So with this super chat, how many times is this KK going to be fired? Hoping is going to spread before people stop believing it. After all, fool me once, shame on you. There we go. There we go. Okay. And double A. Yes. How are you doing? Good morning from where I am at. I know so everybody is in a different location, time zones, all of that, but because I'm still morning, 9 a.m., 9:22 to be exact, good morning to you. All right, chat. Y'all not going, or you're all not seeing that he's a co-leader now. He can't lead the studio, but Lucas and even KK could. Yeah. All right. And also, the art challenge has began. It began Monday, the 5th, and those who are participating, it's not too late to jump into it now. You have a whole week to prepare your art piece and share it with me. And I will share, if I remember, I will share the latest that's been shared with me so far. And get down. And you have Sunday to turn in your piece. But if you're, you don't have to do all the whole 4 weeks. You can jump in next week and start from there. I will be showing off the art. So probably next Thursday, I will show off this week's art. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. So it gives everybody a chance, and I can share everybody's art equally. And then I will announce next Thursday the honorary mention. So this art, you don't have to be a well-studied artist or a professional. You can still be getting your toes, fingers wet in the mediums that you choose and make a piece. You can even do an artistic collage of many different, images and stuff, and lining that, putting them down on a piece of paper that resemble the character and the theme for the character for the topic of the art challenge. Mediums, it doesn't matter. Color pencils, pens, ink pens, Copic markers, which is alcohol ink, paints, acrylic, oil, watercolor. So whatever medium you choose, you could do mixed media too. You could do mixed media. You could do a collage with some of the images and then draw down the character. So there's so many different ways you can do this. I just want to honor and celebrate George Lucas' era of Star Wars through art. And I want to challenge everybody who is following here on the channel, and maybe even those who are barely finding out about this, but not necessarily know my channel, but love George Lucas' era Star Wars, to participate in. So This week's theme is Luke Skywalker and the hero's journey. So you could construct what that image looks like for you. It could be just a drawing of Luke doing something. It could be a image of various things with Luke that inspire his hero's journey. It could be a image of, like I did, the image of the lightsaber on the Tatooine sands, and then you have the galaxy above it, the stars and stuff like that. And that's my interpretation. As where Luke began on Tatooine, so did his becoming a Jedi, his Jedi journey. That's where he constructed his lightsaber, right? So that's where he fulfilled his hero's journey and became what his father was meant to be. So check it out. There is a video here on my YouTube channel. I forgot to put it on Rumble, so I might have to go do that later today. I just now realized that. But get in on it, watch the video, take down the instructions. The link for Discord should be in the video description. Join the Discord, do your art, share it on Discord, hashtag OG Art Challenge, and then also share on my YouTube community page on Twitter. I don't know if I put the link on that for that for the in the description. So I will go check that out and edit that in. So 2 places. One, I would like to see both places, but if you're only going to do one, if you don't have Twitter and you don't want to be on Twitter, that's perfectly fine. Share it on Discord. And I want to see. All right, so that was a bit long, but I'm just so passionate about it. So I just wanted to share that with you. Get in on it. Scran reminded me of that because he's already submitted his piece already. And so I want to get this out, and if it's successful, and I want to carry it on to next year for January and do every year as long as I keep this channel up and going, and each time will be a different type of theme. And it's not just the main characters that I'm honoring of the movies of the OT, it is also the EU. So there's an EU character, there's the OT character, and then I know I didn't use any of PT type things, but hey, there's always another chance, or hey, I might even do another one in 6 months. We'll see. All right, let me go on. Let me say hello to everybody. I know I'm a little bit behind here, and that's okay. Nom Anor meeting Shimra for the first time. Oh my, Yoon Yuzan. He's huge. I don't know why that was hard to read. It's hard. All right. The idiot that believed that Dave Filoni will save Star Wars now. It's gonna be good now. That KK is out, clown. Yeah, I know. Know what sucks? How expensive Crimson Empire comics are. Oh, to collect them now. I mean, everything's going up in prices. Everything. So with that being said, let's get into our cringe, or not our cringe factor, our LucasFacts and book of the week. I will get through the comics. Jeez, comics. We're talking Crimson Dawn comics, and I say comments, and all this too. I'm not, as always, if I don't get to you and read all yours, it doesn't mean I'm ignoring you. This is the link to the art challenge. I think I said hello to everyone and engaged in some way, form, and that's what CAF Chat's about. I will continue to engage. And just a special shout out to those who come here to hate watch.
Bitch, sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Bitch, sit down. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to score with them. The industry can hate me, fuck them all and they mama.
Wrong one.
That's great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
All right. So here we go. LucasFacts. Now, I've been really excited and following Scran on him, sharing important articles in a lot of insider magazines. I do have most of the insiders either copy of or digitally, but he's been really putting in the work on sharing these insider articles and stuff like that. And, you know, I could say, you know, my apprentice, I trained you well. Yeah, but anyways, thank you so much for doing all the work. But he pulled this up here, and this was Steve Sansweet answering a write-in, answering, you know, basically a fan about the EU, and not sharing the EU and placing it somewhere else because he sees that the movies are the canon but not the EU. So why waste your time mentioning and publishing the EU? And so I didn't grab the whole information, and I could share that here later on. I think I shared some of it already. I think I did here on Twitter, not Twitter, YouTube. So this is what is said. We won't eliminate expanded universe coverage or consign it to a non-canonical ghetto. Mechanical. Look how I spelled canon. Canelo. Yeah, and that's Steve Sansweet. Now, so yeah, there's always that Kevin or Karen, or in this case, I think the person's name is David. And that's always gonna nag because they feel like, oh, what the EU did is not important, but the movie is. But there's a lot of things that are in the movies, especially the special editions and the PT, that are tied to, and the EU is used in them. So the whole world is built on this continuity of information and stuff that, yes, there's different mediums, but the target of Lucasfilm has been a single continuity at the synergy of history here within the Star Wars universe. George is in charge of the movie version, or not version, but the movie portion of creating the continuity. And that was the basic foundation that everything expanded off of, that was built off of. And so it's very important to pay homage to all that was created in that George did with his fellow creators that he brought in to help create Star Wars. So I think it's very important here. And Steve Sansweet basically is like, we're not going to relegate this to the canonical, like a non-canon ghetto, basically. So, and I think that this is something that needs to be shared because it has answered, you know, past pre-Disney, ban and corrected pre-Disney fan on what is canon and isn't canon, and what can be shared and shouldn't be shared. And this tells you that it is canon. And I do have a super chat, so let me go ahead and thank you for the 10 euro, something like that. Yeah, did I get that right? I wish you all a great day, and you too as well, Mystic Troll. Have a good one. Let's see here. I just shared this on my channel. Nice. 100. Yes. So I thought I'd share this right here. And you could find the whole like article write-in and answer on Scran's Instagram, his IG. So if you guys want to check it out and go follow him on Instagram, he's doing some great work there, highlighting areas to show how well and how much the EU is considered a part of the saga. And also George's involvement. All of that's there. It's been published. It's shared more than anything else. That, you know, everything under Star Wars brand was canon to each other. So everything was a continuing continuity. So there you go. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. So this, as always, this is my favorite clip of all time?
I hate to say it, but it looks like the item you're searching for doesn't exist.
Impossible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete.
If an item does not appear in our records, it does not exist.
It does not exist. All right. So here we go. Here is the book of the week. Or should I say the comic of the week? So Star Wars Crimson Empire 2. And I was like, why not do the comic that Nom Anor first appeared in? Yeah, I know. I think it was more or less a retcon, like, or what have you, because of what was going on in the continuity or the new lore coming out under New Jedi Order, the continuation of lore. But why not, right? Why not? So the writers are Mike Richardson and Randy Stradley, penciler Paul Gulacy. I'm having a good time with that one, you guys. And inker Randy Emberlin, letterer Pat Brosu, and colorist Dave Stewart. Cover artist Dave Dorman. So we have talked about Dave Dorman before in other arts that he has done, other covers he has done. He is well known for his Star Wars covers, whether on novels or even the comics. So published, starting date November 11th, 1998 to April 14th, 1999. And timeline 11 ABY. So this is where it takes place, 11 ABY in the historical timeline of Star Wars. And hello, Melissa Lord, I see you. How are you doing? Continuity notes, published by the Dark Horse comic from November 11th to April 14th. So I already shared the dates. As the sequel to Crimson Empire as part of a larger story arc, a third miniseries was planned for release in 2001. And the one-shot comic Hard Currency was released as an introduction to the new storyline, but the series was delayed until it was released as Crimson Empire 3. Empire lost in 2011 and 2012. So there you go. So how many of you guys have read Crimson Empire, has followed the series, and what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this? Let me see here. Crimson Empire equals when a loyal guard is the main character. And who do you see in front? Who do you see on the cover? Who is on the cover? Who can recognize the people on the cover? All right. Decrepit. It's always when I'm reading credits for comics and books that I come across the craziest tongue twisters that people have for names, right? Gulacy, something like that, like almost like goulash. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but that's just what came to my mind. Nom Anor's visual here was basically the bias for Bog's visuals later on New Jedi Order, as I've heard. I have to look into that. I was wondering what was some of the visuals for that. Oh, I can hear my granddaughter. She's awake. How cute. All right, those creepy skeletal cannibals were terrifying. And the journey of Hyrcanos, the last surviving member of the Emperor Palpatine's Royal Guard. Yes, I read it once or two. Yeah, once or twice. Yeah. Great series. Yes. I would say CE2 is okay from what I remember, but the original C is so iconic. Are iconic of a story. There you go. I like to hear what you guys have to say. I can give my opinion, but I like to hear what you guys have to say. Oh my goodness. I'm being distracted a little bit. She is back there laughing away. My granddaughter's laughing away back there, having a good time with her dad. I love the cover. The artwork for the covers was great. Yes. All right. And then Zonverse fans. Well, that's Luke and Mara Jade. Oh my God. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. So I thought, what the heck? You know, because Book of the Week is not necessarily about the novels that was published, you know, for Star Wars. It's also source books, comic books, you know, so might as well, you know, I haven't did a comic book. Well, actually kind of. But anyways, you know, it's always good to have, you know, honor our comic books. I have never thought about putting Book of the Week for a game. Like I said, the game's my weaker point of Star Wars, you know, but that's because I never played the games, but I read the canon story version that, you know, basically makes the story the main part of the games, the canon and stuff like that. So I've read them, so I know them lore-wise, but I haven't got deep into them to experience what the gameplay is about and stuff like that. So maybe one day I will stream a game or two once I get used to the control and the commands of the control and stuff like that. But it'll be quite interesting seeing me fail all the time because I'm like, what the fuck? I can't get this to go. Yeah, you know, kind of like getting all raged out because I'm messing up and stuff. That would probably be quite amusing to a lot of you guys, right? You know, but anyways, so Crimson Empire 2, Book of the Week. Check it out if you haven't. And just like Soul Assassin said earlier, looking them up to purchase is expensive, and a lot of them are now. It's like you need to find a fair price for the quality that's being offered, and then invest. It's all about the investment now. If you want to avoid the Legends label, it's all about investing into your collection. It is now vintage, right? Vintage. So it's all about the investment to build your library and have your collection. So with that being said, this is your Book of the Week. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to play this clip here. I'm always announcing, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play that. Jeez. All right.
I had fought the worst of all wars and witnessed the redemption of evil. I have seen balance restored to the Force. But order can turn to chaos, as it did when I was born. Now, with my loved ones and my loyal allies, I face a new challenge unlike any before. And I'm not sure this time we can win.
Star Wars Vector Prime by R.A. Salvatore, the first novel of the new Jedi Order.
I had a friend who was working with me at Spectrum Holobyte who went to LucasArts, and so he convinced me to come over there, and I fell in love with LucasArts, and I was always a Star Wars fan, and went out, and those guys took me out to lunch at the ranch, and got to meet George, and you know all the great things they used to do in the early days when you joined LucasArts, and they basically said to me that I could come and do whatever I wanted. Whatever game I wanted to build, I could build up a team and go build it.
All right, so lore talk. And like I said, I didn't do a PowerPoint, so there's no visuals here for the lore talk. So Nom Anor, what do you know about Nom Anor? We just got done talking about Crimson Empire 2. And basically, he was seeded into the galaxy before the invasion, long before the invasion, like long before the invasion. So I would say, I think 11, maybe. We say, because that comic is 11 ABY, we could say that is a good guesstimate on when he was seeded, maybe a little bit earlier than that. So 11 ABY. And then we have let me see here, the New Jedi Order happening in like 22 ABY, something like that. I'm looking at the date right now. Okay, 25. So he was seated in before 11 ABY. So about 14, give or take, years he was in the galaxy. So probably sooner than that. Probably sooner than that. And so we could say, guesstimate 15, 20 years maybe, that he's been in the galaxy before the invasion. And I think that's quite interesting and very smart of the Vaughn to send someone in to see how the galaxy is, who all the peoples are, the species, and how big it is. What are these cultures? All of that, right? All of that. Let me see here. Fun fact. You'll remember the Black Series Kurt Channels figure they released a few years back. Well, Hasbro got the name wrong and gave us Cornor Jax. What? You know what? I don't remember that. The name being fucked up. I don't remember that. Honestly, I don't. Where have I been? Holy crap. You're gonna have to share that with me. Send me an actual image of that. So let's ask them. That's fucking crazy. Let's see here. That's very true. Nom Anor disguised himself more times than Zam Wessel. Yeah, he has. The mini masks of Nom Anor. The mini masks of Nom Anor. That's freaking crazy, right? All right. So basically, he was from the Intendant Cast's domain Anor, and he basically contributed to the events of the Yuzhong Guang War. So he, like I said earlier, he was one of the main players of the war, post or pre and leading up to the end. And there's so much going on with him that I really don't want to get further into into the New Jedi Order era on talking about him, because there's a lot of things that you're going to find out about him as we go along and talk about it. Man, we got into this New Jedi Order talk a year ago, and we're still at it. We're like 2 books, past the halfway point, and we're still talking. We're still talking about this. You know what? I don't care. I think it's friggin' amazing. Like, we could have did book review, 19 books, talked about that, but I'm dedicating that to Darth Bane's channel. I'd rather do that, and just talk together with a couple of people, nerd out about the books, and discuss what's going on chapter by chapter as much as we can and as efficiently as we can. And so here, I was like, we're talking about the events pertaining to all the players during the time frame that we're in. And so I think that's quite interesting, because a lot of people review the books, but they don't talk about the events. They don't sit there and have discussion about the players in these events and what's going on, other than briefly covering what they're talking about in the book. So Nom Anor. So again, he was seated in the galaxy. And oh my god, the cat. Hold on. Go. All right. Alrighty. Let me see what you guys are saying. The cats want to sit here and play on the table that I'm sitting at, and that can lead into bumping into my things, knocking over the mic and all that. All right. So he scouted out the battlefields ahead of schedule, gathered information, and destabilized the galaxy where he could by inciting conflicts that would make the Vong tasks easier when they went into war. So he also manipulated the Imperial Ruling Council. Did you know that? and contributed to the final downfall and helped create numerous flashpoints of trouble over his years working in the galaxy. So quick history on that. And let's see here. So by 25 ABY, he ranked as executor by this, by that time, sided with the intendant casts pre-Chorite Vom. I'm like, there's some things I just cannot English with or pronounce today. That's just going to be me, I guess. And he also aided them in being the initial strike force of the invasion. Though he would fail against the forces of the New Republic despite his efforts. At the same time, his destabilization work culminated in starting a full-scale war between the planets of Osirian and Rumamul. So we remember that. We talked about Rumamul both on my channel and also on BANE's. And we also know that he was the one that seeded Mara and a few other in the galaxy with the Cone spores, that virus, that disease. So he's done a lot to weaken, create conflict so that these systems will be interfighting, creating basically cult-like people as well. So he did a lot of damage, pre-invasion damage, so to make it easier on the invasion. He was very manipulative. All right, let's see here. Let me go. Oh, I don't want to mess up what I'm going to pull up here for our cringe factor. Let me go ahead and pull up another Twitter panel or whatever. Okay. Let's see here. I have so much going on. Hopefully, because I have so many windows open, that I don't disconnect or freeze up. I would hate that. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. These ones here. All right. Let's see here. So I'm going to show a few things here, and then we're going to get into cringe factor. Like I said, I wanted to talk about the initial pre-invasion leading up into the invasion, but there's so much other things I want to talk about, but it's going to spoil what's to come. So we'll do a part two. But I want to share these with you guys. You remember how he had those sacrifices of the droids and stuff? And let me see here. Is this the right one? Yeah. When Mara and was it Mara? Yeah, Mara and Leia visited him with him, but they didn't know it was him on Rumamul. As they were leaving, they could look down at the planet and see the sacrifices going on. So here you go. This is what Soul Assassin shared. There's some more images, but you guys might recognize these images. And yes, some of those images you shared, I was going to put on PowerPoint. How do we win the Yuzhan Vong? Let's Zolkin Law command focus on capturing Jedi. Don't put Nom Anor in charge. Don't put Nom Anor in charge. And then this person goes out the window for suggesting that. That's hilarious. Let me remove this real quick and share what else is being shared, because it's not going to let me scroll to the next one without. All right. This is badass right here. I always like this image, and you guys might know what I'm talking about. So add to stage. There we go. So here we go. You guys probably recognize this and the comics that it comes from, right? So there you go. Okay, I'm going to show some more. Let's see here. And this one here. There's another one. There's another panel I wanted to share too that I would have put on. Oh, there we go. If I did the PowerPoint, but like I said, I just didn't get to it, and I'm not sorry. I needed, a little extra rest. All right, so here you go. Let's make this a little bigger. That's what she said. All right. All right, so there you go. So maybe this will hype you guys up for reading this. Now I have an idea what they're saying, but the lettering is blurred because it's a digital image that's poorly shared. So Nom Anor, when he used to work out, right? But it's crazy. It's like these maskers, these disguise, these biological suits that they wear to make them look like the species that they're impersonating. Sculpts, like in a way, it kind of sculpts their body to look convincing and sometimes even look menacing. So it's very interesting how that works. Like the different types of maskers that they can use. Fucking crazy. And then you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and look for it. So I'll show you one example. One example of a disguise he wore. I shared it on Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, you might see it. You might have seen it. If you know the storyline, you might have seen it already. Let's see. I just gotta scroll down for it. Okay. How far? There we go. Let me click on it and I'm gonna share it. And you're gonna recognize the species. So here it is. Here you go. So this is Nom Anor in disguise here. So the maskers, the Uglic maskers, the name kind of changes depending on who you are, masking. What species you are masking up to look like, basically. Now just imagine in real life, like this is so fucking crazy because like even when Luke was putting on the crab armor, now I'm like talking like the Mandalorians, with the crab armor and maskers and stuff like that to mask themselves as the Vong when they were infiltrating Coruscant after it was taken by the Vong. He refused to wear an actual masker because how it attaches through the mouth, it attaches through your spores, all of that. And he was like, no, I can't do it. Mara, on the other hand, she's like, I'll do it. So she wore an actual masker to mask themselves as look like bones. And she did that, but Luke was like, I can't do it. I can't have that shit in me. So he basically used a imitation one. So just imagine wearing these maskers and being so used to the pain because that's part of their religion. Their rites is suffering through pain, like a glory suffering through pain, I guess you can say. And so imagine that, attaching to your spores and all this other stuff. So it was the Gableth masker. Yeah, the Gableth. Hello, what's up? He's over there. Probably the only one. It's like the morning time on Rumble. It's a little different for people coming in, but hello, how are you doing? What's up? Yeah, the Gableth masker. Yeah, so Luke was like, nope. Mara's like, I'll do it. So she wore the actual masker. He wore the imitation. Let's see here. Mara Jade's a team player, right? I don't know if I could do that too. Just imagine if that kind of like disguises and stuff. I don't know. But then again, if that was something a part of our society, then we would probably be used to it, I guess. I don't know. It's fucking crazy how these authors, get inspired by other lore stories and then expand from them and stuff like that. And, and stuff like that. So I think it's very interesting and kind of creepy, but all in all, good. Okay. And so there you go. So again, like I said, I didn't want to get too much into Nom Anor because the part 2 will probably be towards the end of our lore talk, and we'll come back like through the whole continuing series that we're going through, and I'll add on from that. And we were just discussing Duros on Purist channel, and we're going to get to that part. And we already discussed it here on the channel, that time frame. But Nom Anor is down on the planet, and he's the one that's causing problems there as well. So he's a seeder of problems, of chaos and stuff, which makes it easier for the Vong to invade. Yeah. So the mini masks of Nom Anor. Part 2 will be coming up towards the end of our lore talk series of New Jedi Order. And we'll also wrap up the beginning of just a little bit of history recap on his infiltration and how he created seeded chaos to make it easier for the Vong to invade. Because why not do that to make like sectors and different species fight each other, so that their attention is just on each other while the invasion begins. He's seeding that chaos, seeding the chaos. And this guy is chaos. And I think he is, and we discussed this, but I think he is also, he worships the twins, the twins, the twin gods, you know, and Yun Harla, basically the chaos, the trickster. And it goes well into what he does here. And when we talk further, we'll get into more of that later on. So very fun, very exciting. I am excited about it. There you go. All right. So Nom Anor, look into him some more. Study his character. He's like one of the main players. He makes it exciting. He'll be coming up showing more and more as we go on. So it's almost like he is like one of the main players in this, all of this basically invasion history. Let's see here. You can say Nom Anor is like Sith infiltrator. See, I had to add Old Republic in somehow. I see that. But you know, they like the Old Republic, there was the sighting of Vong too during that time. So that's why I say there's like this give and take of when, you know, when Nom Anor was planted into the galaxy. Now, what is the lifespan of the Vong? I never looked that up. How long do they live? Are they more like humans, like for like 100 years? You know, like humans can live up to 100 years or whatever, like in the Star Wars lore. Like if you're force ability and stuff, sometimes the age in even humans is slightly longer. But what is the Yuuzhan Vong? What is their age range for their species? Let me see here. I never really considered looking that up. If someone can do that for me real quick and share in the chat, I'm giving you homework. Anyone, all of you, whoever gets to it. More than 100 years for sure. That's what I'm thinking. But do we have Nom Anor equals Loki? Do we have, is there any lore history on that? Hey, Chio Wesley, how you doing? Good afternoon, and may the force be with you. And good afternoon to you. So let me know. There's a Vong and Legacy comic working on the one Sith who was present for the. Yeah, I remember that, and we see that picks up the history. So continuing the historical timeline. It's amazing, right? It's amazing. Yeah, I do too. But I'm just I want to know like how long. All right. So we're gonna switch gears, and then we're gonna start. We're gonna get into cringe factor now. We have plenty of time, almost a whole hour to discuss what we're gonna discuss. I think it's very important. I've been wanting to just do a live or a pre-video. Meant to go live when this information came out, and then when I had the opportunity, my computer was updating, and then my internet wasn't connecting afterwards. The computer, like some updates take long. Well, obviously this one took long. And then when I went to go set up to see if I can try to do a live that night, Oh, excuse me. My internet wasn't connecting and I was trying to troubleshoot, and then to find out I just had to restart my computer again for whatever friggin' reason. I don't know. But geez. Talk about a time. And then there's other things that happened, like personal life, that I had to take care of. Not bad at all. I'm not, that sounds like, oh, she's having trouble. No, it's just, priorities and stuff like that. So that wasn't possible. So then I was like, and I know Pierce, I was trying to get Pierce on with me because he's been wanting to talk about it as well. And just everything just shitted from there with the updates and trying to connect and finding out I needed to restart the computer again for whatever reason to connect back to the internet, because it wasn't the internet provider, it was my connection button, I guess, our connection here on the computer. It just wasn't showing up and I couldn't find it on my computer. All weird. 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 So we're going to get into this, but first of all, let's go ahead and take a quick small break. Let me see what I want to play. In fact, let me get into, I wish I'd have played this earlier, but let's get into this. So if you need to refresh your CAF, your drink, whatever you have, get a snack, what have you, grab it, refresher, go to the refresher, do that. But here we go.
Someone asked me to give the best reason why someone should read the Expanded Universe. After giving it a lot of thought, here's what I have to say. The Expanded Universe respects the reader. In the Expanded Universe, Luke Skywalker's optimism continues where it left off in Return of the Jedi. He's fulfilled hope to the galaxy, just like Obi-Wan said he would, not like the Disney movies where he gave up on the Jedi or even the whole galaxy for that matter. The character you see in those movies is not Luke. Luke isn't a quitter. He's not a pessimist. He's a leader. He's inspirational. And he's always there for his friends in times of need. Another character is Han Solo. He's introduced to us in A New Hope as a loner, a man who cares only for himself and nobody else. But by the end of Return of the Jedi, that all turns around when he finally finds friends he can trust and a true love to spend the rest of his life with. And that's exactly what he does in the Expanded Universe. Han is a devoted husband and father to Leia and their kids. He loves his family above all else. In the new movies, Han turns out to be a selfish deadbeat dad who ran out on his family when things get tough. It's a complete 180 from the character that we saw from Return of the Jedi. Now, another thing the EU does is it rewards its readers. Attention to detail when it comes to continuity has never been done at such a level as when it was performed by the Expanded Universe. Avid readers will constantly be rewarded for their diligence as comics, novels, video games, and even children's books share connections throughout the entire series, making it almost a flawless, continuous story. And though it has its minor flaws, it's still the best overall story and continuity out there, period. That's what the EU does. It respects and rewards its readers. And that's the best reason you should give it a try. Long live the Expanded Universe.
Long live the Expanded Universe. And yes, go sub to Matt Wilkins. He celebrated just recently hitting 9K subscribers for his channel. I have been watching him slowly grow as well. And that's the case here because our mission is basically preserving George Lucas' era of Star Wars. He also has his game board reviews and sharing game board and stuff like that, which is very interesting, and other little tidbits that he does for his channel. And so I'm so proud of him for reaching that milestone and on to 10K and beyond, I guess you could say. Now, he doesn't really discuss any Disney Star Wars news, particularly on his channel, unless it's he does a live and he's asked about it. He'll give his opinion or not, and I respect that. I do this for cringe factor, and I think it's very important to call out those who are using this as a way of grifting, even though that you have to think that these people have read the source that it came from and to understand what is being said. But instead, a lot of people and a lot of these pop culture news reporter type people are thinking that this is actual fact when in fact it is not. There's no evidence of this. There's no official statement of it. And I'm not going to take someone's source, quote unquote source, as a viable source if it hasn't been announced and it's not out in the public officially. Especially when you put probable prediction, that says a lot. Now, what am I talking about? What I'm talking about is a recent announcement by Puck. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Now, I didn't bother to enter my email so I can get a preview of the article, a free preview of the article. Yeah, get out of there. But so I won't be reading that. But I wanted to share. Now, I know in the Gatekeepers private founders chat that we have on Twitter, I believe that Knights of Melvin basically shared screenshots of it. But I am not going to try to pull that up or anything like that. Let me see here. But I will share the title to this because I think the title is very important. And it tells you everything. Tells you everything. So 20 surefire, 100% probable, 100% probable. Probable means that there's no evidence behind. It's just a prediction, basically, right? Hollywood prediction. And there you go. Predictions for 2026, part 1. And the announcement that Filoni and what's her name, Lynwen or whatever her name is going to co-chair as presidents of Lucasfilm. Now, this is by that Matt. Let me see. Where's that? Matt Baloney or whatever his name is. Yeah, Matthew Baloney. Can't make that shit up, right? So this is from him. And he's done this for the prediction of last year. Now, he predicted Filoni, and he had another person to co-chair with him. So this is just a repeat of the same old prediction as last year with just a small change to it. And everyone, let me go ahead and take this off here now. Let me go ahead and scroll on here. We're going to talk about this. Everyone and their mamas. I know I'm being sarcastic here, is running with this as if it is actually real, true. Yeah, I guess Favreau's not running. We'll get into that because I pulled up another article that was from last year's prediction, not from Puck and Baloney. Baloney. But anyways, I have another article on standby to talk about this, and I have another thing on standby that we're going to get to right now. And so this is 100% probable Hollywood prediction. That says a lot. There's no evidence to back up his sources, although he says, I got sources, but how many times have you guys heard this regarding Kennedy is leaving? And like Filoni or Favreau or whoever is, like even this article I'm going to pull up here pretty soon has JJ as a successor to the presidency of Lucasfilm. Yeah. So, and nothing has happened. Nothing, not a damn thing has happened. And then that's like saying, oh, well, Filoni's going to have full creative control part of the presidency. Well, he already has that. So that's not anything new. That's not anything new. I agree. It is clickbaiting. I agree. And a lot of people fell for it. And then these so-called pop culture, like news reporting on Twitter, I ran with it as if it's factual. And I think it is very interesting that these people, like I said, are we surrounded by a lot of idiots or something? Because they took it as factual. They're running with it. Even these so-called big YouTube channels are streaming it out, grifting it out as factual. And there are some that are still saying bullshit, and I respect that because I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on this again because it's wash, rinse, repeat. But I'm also calling bullshit on those who are saying that this is factual. I'm also calling bullshit on why are you fucking just relaying this fake news again? It's like, again, wash, rinse, repeat, right? Wash, rinse, repeat. There we go. Who do we have here? We do have some gatekeepers in the house. And I know I was talking to Purist earlier, and I didn't play this, but I want to play this now. An honorary, first of all, of our gatekeepers, but first of all,
fuck the fandom menace.
Fuck the fandom menace.
There we go. And let's see here. Where did it go? There we go.
Because there's a fucking gatekeeper. There's a fucking gatekeeper.
There we go. So there is a lot of grifting going on. And it's, again, the rehash. It feels like I'm fucking in a, what do you call it, Groundhog movie here when it comes to Kennedy's gone and these people are succeeding her under as the president. I love this. What happened to Sparrow? Now, I didn't go do my Sparrow research, but the lady that really highlights Sparrow and talks about him or her or it all the damn time did do a video regarding this, and I didn't watch it. I was just curious to see if she fell for the bait as well, and obviously she did. And I haven't seen if Sparrow made the same prediction. So I did not do that part. I did not do that part of my research because, you know, it's the same old, same old. How much has the Sparrow have been used as a quote unquote source? It's quote unquote Sparrow and its source, and nothing has fruition, right? It's the same baited, oh, my source told me, and they're reliable. Yeah. So I can easily say that is what it is with even that corner of the YouTube sphere on this this Groundhog version of Kennedy's Gone. Groundhog Day version of Kennedy's Gone. It's like, and we'll get predictions going on into this year that she is out in October. I guarantee you it will happen. Because how many times have we heard this leading up to probably like within the 6 months after, people talking about how she is gone in October. Now, last year it happened, 2025. Oh, she's gone after October. No, she's not. She's not gone, or she's gone by October or after, whatever the grift is for that. Whoever said that, either they have this ambiguous cushion of after October or by October. I know we talked cuck news in 2022. I just can't find the string. I know we did. Like this cuck news, it's been going on for a while. Like I said, it feels like fucking Groundhog Day when it comes to this Kennedy's gone and these people are succeeding. And it's fucking crazy. It is fucking crazy. And those on the Rumble side of CAF Chat, hello to you guys. I got the gatekeepers over there. The gatekeepers are holding it down. And again, once I was going to get it set up yesterday and I just got busy and didn't do it, but I am setting up my Rumble so I can get into partnership and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for more information on that and the support. And I'll encourage you guys to go over there and hang out in the stream there. And I also do lives only there and not on YouTube. So I'm going to try to dedicate some CAF chats to that end and not particularly to YouTube. So everybody follow over there, find me over there, follow all of that good stuff, and are also our gatekeepers. I have all their links in the description here. So follow them, and I will announce when it's CAF Chat's going to be a Rumble exclusive only. And so jump in over there and let's make it big. Let's make the Rumble the platform, the coming platform, and get out of YouTube for the ways of, deplatforming people, even out of nowhere, and taking their money. Very dishonest, but that's another story we can talk about later. Yeah. All right. So let me go ahead and remove the screen here. Again, keywords, 100% probable Hollywood prediction. There's nothing facts. All it is my source says, and then usually they will, like if you hear them talk on screen, take this with a grain of salt, is another indication that it's not factual, that it's just rumors, opinions, hearsay, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. All right, so let's go ahead and remove here. And it's quite funny that this is happening, because it's almost like what I said, Disney's built on hope. Disney Star Wars is built on hope. And I'm not using that as a positive analogy. I'm using that as more of a negative, the fact that you're hoping for this, you're hoping for that, and every single time this hope is applied, and you could say, a lot of people say, oh, you're saying it wrong, it's called hopium. Well, I'm using hope, but yeah, I'm using it in the terms of, like, if you want to call it hopium, but it's hope that the movie comes out, it's hope that the movie is good, it's hope that, and then that hope is crushed by Disney themselves, right? And so we have this hopium, I guess you could say, or this hope for Kennedy to be gone, and like Filoni to be one of the successors. And how many times has this been going on? How many times can you, I'm not talking to you guys in particular here in the chat and listening, but how many times can one keep on applying this hopium, I guess you can say, and not realize that you're being fucking fooled? And a lot of people are like, oh, Star Wars is now saved. Saved? Since Disney acquired Star Wars, there was no redeeming hope that Star Wars is going to be saved. I mean, people even said, oh, well, since Disney bought Lucasfilm from George, they took it from him, so now it's going to be better. I've seen and heard that in my time as under my platform here. And it's all about discrediting even the creator of Star Wars. And now, so people are now saying, well, Filoni is the apprentice of George, and he has been with George and Lucasfilm for a long time, and now he is with Disney because, his contract extended under Disney, blah, blah, blah. And so this is fate. He is George, but in a different skin. There's so many people talking this crazy bullshit. Another one is that George handpicked, and I forgot to bring, now that I realize I'm bringing this up, I forgot to bring the article up. So stay tuned here on YouTube, in my community posts, and even on Discord, and also on Twitter, the article. So what's her name? Kathleen Winder, or whatever her name is. Probably butchered it or probably got it slightly wrong. Oh no. We'll have the correct name out to you here shortly. But anyways, Kathleen something, or Catherine or whatever, is the one that hired Filoni, not George. George did not handpick Filoni. In fact, George handpicked Tartakovsky, Genndy Tartakovsky, to lead the Clone Wars going forward and other things under animation. And that stuff didn't fruition. So the contracts and Tartakovsky being the one to head this animation and the Clone Wars project didn't happen because the negotiations, they couldn't come to an agreement on what Tartakovsky wanted. But there was, I'm not going to say there was, he and his wife even planned on selling their home to live closer to Skywalker Ranch and stuff like that, in being potentially having the contracts being agreed upon. So there's a lot of history behind that. So it wasn't Filoni that was handpicked by George. It was Tartakovsky. So everybody who speaks this way has not done their research, has not even looked into any factual information. And I know that people are like, well, Filoni said he was handpicked. Well, Filoni's a fucking liar. And he has proven himself a liar time and time again. That is another story to talk about right there. Now going back to this right here, let me pull up this information that I want to real quick. Stop screen. I'm always bitching and complaining about wishing that there's another way to effectively share. But it is what it is. All right. So I made this little bit of information here. Let me make sure that it's shared. Yes, I'm going to make the screen bigger. There you go. And before I read into this here, let me see what you guys are saying in the chats. I know there's a lot going on in here. Yes, follow me on Rumble. Like I said, there'll be CAF Chat exclusives on Rumble. And I might even do Cantina chats or Cantina nights over there. And that will be more of a night live stream on Rumble where I can get more viewers and stuff when people are off of work and stuff like that. Because CAF Chat has always been in the morning. That's a tradition. Never going to change that. Never going to change that. But I know I made the gamble because of people being at work during the day, especially here in the United States. And but it's been successful, continues to be successful. I landed this spot. You guys come in time and time again to support, chat Star Wars, and have a good time. So I appreciate every single one of you. And those new to the channel, thank you again for coming in. And those who hate watch just because you have a hate boner from me, this is for you again.
Holla, bitch, sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Bitch, sit down. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to score with them. The industry can hate me, fuck them all and they mama.
All right, so let's see here. So follow me on Rumble. And Chio says, have you thought about starting a Discord account? Yes, I have. I have one already. I announced that earlier, I think, before you jumped on here. And I'm using a channel on my Discord for the art challenge. Again, art challenge is up. Go check out the video on what you need to do for the art challenge and share your art pertaining to the character and theme. All right. And hashtag OG art challenge. This is all Dave Filoni. Matt Filoni is very biased for his brother Dave. People just love being lied to. They want to hear lies that give them hope and make them feel good inside the cold, hard truth. Yes, I agree. Again, that's something Doomcock would say. Oh my God. And one of the things that I was sharing with my fellow gatekeepers, my brothers there, is that someone, I forgot who it was now. Sorry, I can't remember your name. There's so much been going on. But anyways, this is regarding geeks and gamers sharing this as actual truth. And we'll get into that. I'll show you what I'm talking about. They're like, what'd you guys do? Hire Doomcock to write your articles or something like that? That was fucking funny. Holy shit. I was like in stitches for that. Star Wars has never been saved. It's been dead since 2015. No, it's been dead since 2012. The final nail in the coffin, or the final blow, would be when the EU was tossed. Okay. They're saving because they didn't get their Rilo happy ending. Oh my God, we're not going to get into that. And then AOT says, and then there's people like Critical Drinker who hates George and says Star Wars needs to go beyond George's vision. That's why he loves Andor. Oh yeah, I remember what he said about that. That's fucking crazy. And that's like the same thing I've been talking about. Like we talked about that. So this comment's probably made when I said people bash George. and to praise some of Disney's stuff. And this is an example. Let's see here. I don't understand how or why this whole Dave is George's apprentice nonsense came up. Was never a thing. Also, are here now. Hello. Hey there, Wolf Scar. How are you doing? Whoever started this nonsense is just annoying. And let's see here. Nom Anor had learned from Filoni how to deceive people. Oh, please don't bash Nom Anor's character for Filoni. I get what you're saying though. The female is force. The force is female is the force. Force is the female, right? More shield face thumbnails from Chef. Wow. I did not want to go in and watch any of that stuff. In fact, last night was my work night. Like I said, I have my schedule from 3:20 to 9:30 is like my work time and travel time from work and stuff. So I do miss, since Raging Rhino moved Casual Rage to Wednesday now and my new work schedule, I don't get to watch his stuff live. I don't get to watch live his Casual Rage. So I miss that. I usually have to go watch the replay, and I just haven't had a chance to catch up in anybody's replays other than some of Darth Melvin's or Knights of Melvin. Can you all believe it's been a year already since started a new year, new Jedi Order? I know, that's fucking crazy. More tracks for the album. There you go. And a lot of my fellow Gatekeepers Alliance are doing their specialty albums. Got to check it out. And like and share comments and tell them when you listen. Once some of them are published, I think Knights of Melvin has his published. I think, is it his? Well, anyways, share which track you like. What is your favorite? Share that. Let him and us know. It would have been great to see another Tartakovsky cartoon series. I know. No. And Jeremy, Melvin, and his fans are bullying me. That's hilarious. No, we don't need to retread that thing, but that was fucking hilarious at that. Talk about trying to validate yourself through another YouTuber. Validate your existence and stuff like that. That's crazy. Holy shit. I wish Tartakovsky stayed with Lucasfilm instead of selling out for Adam Sandler money. Oh my God. Not to change the subject, but people are now grifting off the latest thing that Mark Hamill said, which he said during the time of The Force Awakens 2 about bringing back the big three for a final hurrah, I guess you can say. Well, he stated that again, and people are running with it as if this is the first time he said that. So that's another fucking annoying thing too. But hey, whatever serves your clicks and stuff, I guess. I don't know. And then also, I guess Tom Cruise is supposed to be filming or choreographing or doing something with a lightsaber duel in the Starfighter coming movie under Disney Lucasfilm. So that's another thing there that maybe you guys want to check out. I thought about having that as a cringe factor too, but no, this is the best one here because I've been wanting to talk about this topic since it came out. This is my opportunity. All right, so I'm going to take it. Yes. In a way, are you going to say I'm grifting off of it? Well, to call out people who are using it to grift, maybe you can say that. I don't know, and I don't care. Really Lucky Bebe Dumba. Oh, I really liked Bebe Dumba. There we go. Sorry about that, everyone. That I had to get into the moment of when I heard and seen that. He sure loves bleeding his lightsaber. Oh. No, we didn't go there. Okay. I think how in Geeks and Game article they wrote that Filoni is usually right, and then a couple paragraphs later they say he's wrong. Yes, they do. I read the whole thing because I was like, should I share this or not? So I read the whole article and I'm like, my point is still valid pertaining to what they're doing with their title and what they wrote. Yeah, so it's still valid. Too many rescheduling shows ruins my modding schedule. Why do you all hate me so much? You're such a phenomenal modder. And let me see here. Do I dare play this? I played some things that demonetizes the stream. Doesn't hurt the channel. But do I dare play this? You know what? I'll play this.
I love you.
I know.
So thank you so much for being such a wonderful mod. You are friggin' the best there ever has been and will be. You are appreciated. Thank you so much. Let me see. Where am I at? Okay. Tartakovsky didn't sell out. There was a disagreement on expanding his creative projects. Yes, for Star Wars into movies. They were literally looking at real estate before it fell out. Yes. Yes. Exactly. So there was no selling out. It's just the agreement didn't follow through. But he was almost positive it would. And so they were looking at possible real estate to move closer to for these future projects and stuff. And because the negotiation fell through, and then Catherine or whatever her name is, and I'll share the article with you guys later. She's the one that interviewed and hired. Filoni wasn't personally hired by George himself. He didn't personally handpick him whatsoever. Let's see here. OG's Rumble, thank you. And don't need to watch new Star Wars Starfighter movie. I'm quite fine with reading the Rogue Squadron trilogy. There's also the Rogue Squadron video games, correct? Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this next thing I'm sharing here. Let me pull up the screen. So this is from when this was announced and people started rolling with it as the actual truth. I went to YouTube and clipped all these. Like I just typed in some keywords and just pulled some things. I mean, there was a whole list of just new videos that are popping up like crazy. It was popping with the fake news, right? So I made this little image here, but this is what I said. And again, pointing out that this is all about hope, about grifting. There's dishonesty about it, because if you read the title of the article, it shares with you what this is exactly about. So I probably can dig up more, is what I said here, but these guys pull it off as if a fact, when in fact it is 100% probable prediction. In case you didn't know, probable is a presumption, is presumptions with no proof. So let's see here. This is this quick little screenshot images I made here. And here's Puck's article, again, underlining. I'm not trying to cross out. I just didn't change the width of this here. So probable and predictions, right? Probable predictions. And so these are the people that I have pulled up. Yellow Flash, male feminist takes over Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy finally done. Now, I didn't mention exactly what I wanted to talk about with Kathleen Kennedy being quote unquote done. But let's go ahead and do it now. She is not done, even when she steps down from her presidency of Lucasfilm, being president. She has stated herself that she will be still working on the movie projects and the shows. She will still be working. She will still be with Lucasfilm. And because she was president, I'm pretty sure that she's going to have some special privileges going forward after that. So there we go. And then Geeks and Gamers, Kathleen Kennedy replaced by Dave Filoni at Lucasfilm. Clickbaity? Yes. Very dishonest too. And then we have the quartering. Star Wars CEO Kathleen Kennedy is fired, along with Disney CEO Bob Iger. What? Star Wars is saved. And then here with Dr. Disaster, the clown show ends. My work here is done. just go away. And then so Kathleen Kennedy is finally leaving Star Wars, but too late. And I didn't, of course, I'm just sharing the screen thing. I didn't get the whole title there. Then we have Derek Anderson, DA. Kathleen's replacement revealed. My reign of terror. Geez, I can't even read. My reign of terror will continue. Lucasfilm's new boss, Disney, reveals who will head up Disney. Disney did not reveal. Puck shared a probable prediction. How fucking hard is that to realize? And then we have Mr. H reviews. Kathleen Kennedy quits. Lucasfilm Dave Filoni takes over. It's over. See the dishonesty here? Huge news. And this is by Disney or Star Wars Meg. Disney Star Wars Meg. Kathleen Kennedy's replacement finally revealed. Huge Star Wars news. Huge news. Huge. And then also Star Force One breaking. Dave Filoni official becomes president at Lucasfilm. So that's what's going on here. This is basically clickbait, dishonest reporting here. They can't even read exactly what is being here. And this is all about the hope. And I don't think I played that video, but if I did, then I did. But I'm going to play it here again. I don't think I did. All right. So there you go. So there is that one. Just show an example of like everybody who hopped on this train as if it is factual. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share this. I was going to share like all these like clickbaits, news, like pop culture news source, like Star Wars Holocron and all of them on taking the bait as if it's real. But we already know what they do. They do what they do as well. So it's funny how these anti-Disney Star Wars channels are the ones that came into be because of The Last Jedi, and then start doing hope towards what they feel is good Star Wars, and Star Wars is safe versus what is bad, and going back to the doomsday about it. You know, jump on this as if it's real and stuff like that, just as the Disney supporting pop culture sources, right? It's like they have that in common. They're both grifting and sharing as if this is factual. And I think that's quite interesting. That's very much quite interesting. So I'm going to share this article here. And this is a blast from the past, but only back a year ago. But, you know, just like Tim said, we did talk about this before in 2022. And I believe here on my channel as well, I've covered this back and forth, the wash, rinse, repeat of Kennedy's Gone, and the various people that are going to, you know, succeed into her position, right? So here we go. Let me go ahead and share the screen. Oh, let's see here. Is this it? Yeah, this is the right. Let me close some of these windows out so that I don't have too much going on here. Screen bigger. Right. And I keep on saying I'm going to get these ad blocks, and I never do. I never do. I'm going to click. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right. So this was back in February 26, 2025. So not even a year ago. All right. So February 26, 2025. Kevin Feige, let me click out of this one. Kevin Feige and Dave Filoni reportedly contenders to succeed Kathleen Kennedy at Lucasfilm. So basically, this is just about the same thing that we're talking about here today. And this stems from the Hollywood Reporter. So that's where this began, or this article is coming from. They're just pirating from Hollywood. Disney could opt for joint leadership. And so that's another theme that we're seeing here today and has been carried on. Let me see here. And okay. Does this have everybody? No, I don't think this is the one that has. No, it's not. But the Hollywood Reporter, I believe, does have. So we have Kevin Feige and Dave Filoni that are some of the contenders. But let me go ahead and click on the Hollywood Reporter. I think that's the one that has the lineup of others. So this is where it stems from, February 25th, so day before 2025, 3:01 p.m. So exact time this was published. Disney Star Wars succession problem. Who will replace Kathleen Kennedy? So people use Hollywood Reporter as a reliable source because, oh, they are from Hollywood. They have their sources. But how many times have they been wrong as well? So let's see here. So Jon Favreau is one of them that has been reported. We've heard that news before. Dave Filoni too. Let's see here. Scroll down. There we go. Favreau or Filoni are both together. Kevin Feige, again, that's someone that we just talked about. And then lo and behold, J.J. Abrams. Imagine that. Throwing J.J.'s name into the pot. You know what? It's not even showing up here. Damn it. Let me go ahead. It didn't click on to the next thing. Let me remove that. And I'll just scroll there for you, just so that you know what I'm reading here. Let's see here. And that's what I get for not coming back and checking my screen, right? Let's see here. Is this the right one? Yes. There we go. So this is what I read here. I'm going to read the paragraphs by Kevin Feige, Favreau, Filoni, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau. So Jon Favreau, they were mentioned twice here together, are separate. Kevin Feige, and then JJ. JJ. Imagine being that desperate for wanting Kennedy gone and throwing JJ in the mix. Fractured Filter is on Rumble. Thank you for coming through on Rumble as well. I think you were there the whole time. I'm not exactly sure, but thank you again. It's nice that I can see where you guys are reporting in, watching from on the side of my screen here in the comment section. All right. So imagine throwing JJ into the pot as president. And I remember discussing this before, and people talking about JJ, and I'm like, he is the killer of franchises. Like, there's memes about him going like the Grim Reaper to each franchise and destroying them. You know, Abrams directed the widely successful Star Wars relaunch of The Force Awakens, but also is it's a lambasted entry, The Rise of Skywalker. He clearly has an affinity for the brand, and with Bad Robot managed a small media empire. But he and Bad Robot have hit a rough and unproductive patch, and the filmmaker is only now getting ready to shoot his first movie since Skywalker. But that could be because of the blaster stun from his Star Wars experience, which proved harrowing. I don't see him coming back to the top successful, says one insider. It's definitely left a mark on him. So that's what they're saying, but they used him as a prediction on replacing Kennedy. I don't know why. I think it's quite funny. Rebel is the freedom platform. I agree. So what do you guys think about this reoccurring news that seems to go as clockwork every single year? Every single year. The rumors. Yes, Kennedy is eventually going to retire as president. No, she's not leaving Lucasfilm no matter what. Yes, they will have to find someone, a new president. Will things change? Probably, most likely not. There isn't going to be a reboot of the Disney trilogy. They already they already committed basically suicide by tossing the EU. Are they going to really toss their own material that they made? Probably, most likely not. So I wanted to share how this is about just grifting for clicks, giving false information, fake news. It's very dishonest. These people who have came in through their channels to defend George Lucas and Star Wars because of The Last Jedi, showing colors here, showing true colors. The mask has slipped off a long time ago. They are chameleons. They will change color to fit what's going on. It's kind of like their Ooglet masker, right? They will adapt to the current news, whether it is against their morals or not. And I think it's very important to discuss this. It goes into character, and it goes into authenticity, and quite frankly, it shares how they feel about their followers, their subscribers, like if they are idiots. If you're subscribed to any one of these guys, stop falling for the bullshit. Wake up. And if you're the opposing force and you still follow them and you're the opposing voice, good for you. Let them know how exactly you feel about their grifting and sharing it as actual news, actual facts. With that being said, I know you can hear in the background, isn't she fun? She's having fun. Like I said, my oldest daughter's home, and so she has her niece with her, and they're having fun in the living room. So with that being said, we're going to close out here so I think Joel will join in the fun. And I wanted to share this with you, and I believe Tim is going live for the spacing, and he will be giving his viewpoint on the same discussion of what we talked about here for Cringe Factor. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. And with that being said, like I said, well, I'm going to do some exclusive CAF chats on Rumble to get you guys all over there as well. I will announce that, so you guys will get a heads up on that. But CAF chat as normal, as usual. I do have a few EU shorts that had came out already, so stay tuned for that. And I'm almost done with a continuity chronicle. Sometimes it's hard picking images and where you want to go with the continuity that you're focusing on for the EU and the movies and stuff like that to show how they link in a creative way. So stay tuned for that. And again, Cantina Nights will probably be exclusively Rumble. I'm making that decision here, so stay tuned for that. I got to gear in with my personal schedule, get used to that new flow that I'm in so that I can be more productive for you guys. And so we can further discuss and share George Lucas' era of Star Wars and also the cringe factor fake news that is Disney Star Wars. All right, you guys. With that being said, you guys have a good day and may the force be with you. And I shall chat with you later. And let's go ahead and revisit this one more time.
I'm telling you, this finale, it's unbelievable how tepid contemporary art seemed compared to the passionate quality of this finale. So you have this like huge, like it's like romantic nature painting, apocalyptic landscape of the lava. Lucas crosscuts the destruction of the Senate chamber, and you have the destruction of industry going on. And then after all these horrors, it is so beautiful. I'm saying, my God. Nothing in the last 30 years in any of the arts has been produced as emotionally compelling and significant as the finale of Revenge of the Sith.
Jedi is something that came a little later. When we started building Jedis, we had a lot of Jedis, and we needed more and more Jedis. As we were doing them toward the end, we ended up with a lot of Jedis that looked like people that worked at ILM, with these short little haircuts and looked like they stepped out from behind a computer. And so I was saying we have to get more exotic Jedis. And so we only have so much resources to do these things with, but I do have Twi'leks because we use them quite a bit in other areas in the Senate and as background action. So I have a sort of a wardrobe and a setup of certain kinds of characters. So it was a way of reinventing some of those characters. And I had realized that we had a comic book that has a Twi'lek in it that is a Jedi. There's a whole series actually of her. And I said, well, why don't we put her in this? I mean, she's a comic character, but we'll just fit her in and have her be a background character because that's exotic. That's how the Twi'lek Jedi ended up in the backgrounds of these shots, was to try to use some of the work and effort that the guys in the comic book world had put into things and characters they had created.
Another happy landing.